We stay swishing, 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 swishing. Rise up, stay swishing, 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 swishing. Willing every jumper with a flick of wrist. Never a doubt, a fear of miss. Anyone sleeping on my shots get fits. Cause every shot do nets, do rips. Cards, hearts, darts, rewards, smarts, sharks.
Welcome in episode number 25.
25.
NBA trade deadline is complete. The trades are finished. Actually, it just ended yesterday after a reversal.
Dalton Knecht has returned back to the Lakers. We keep the trio together.
There's only three.
The trio, future of the Lakers.
Dalton is not part of their future, and it's pretty obvious.
He's a top round
It's
pick.
pretty obvious they traded him away for pennies. When you think about it.
Mark Williams.
So that's what we wanted to get into today. Eventually, I don't know if you have any.
We're going to start right off the bat with a brand new week of Mind You of the Week. Back-to-back weeks. All right, guys. Let me get my microphone set up here. We are back, united together in a search for the conspiracies of the conspiracy world. According to the NBA documentation and factorial base, I am reporting live from an unknown location, mystified by the universe, bringing you what I have found in my search through this journey. So now that you have the background, we go right in to the hot topic of the day. And today, that topic must be trade related, because we are doing a trade episode. So what do we want to talk about on trades?
I have a perfect one.
So, the conspiracy is, I have noticed several players were sitting out with so-called injuries. Now, a lot of these people may have been minor role players, they may be stars, they may be consistent starters. But why does it seem almost 90% of the players traded this week had some type of injury or reason they were sitting out of the game? Was there collusion among teams of predetermined trades from ownerships? Now, let's check the facts on that one. So, obviously, a prime example of this would be the Jimmy Butler. The Jimmy Butler...
He was not ruled out for injuries. He was ruled
out for other reasons.
Suspended.
Yes. He had a reason to sit out. I said there was other reasons. Mind you, this is my segment. Next.
We come with the facts.
That is the facts. Yes. Next, we got Kyle Kuzma was in and out of the lineup all year. And he was traded. We got, not too fast, we got the two Martins from the Sixers.
They're both still out. I don't know what you're trying to say.
We got Luka.
He's still out.
We got Anthony Davis. Brandon Ingram.
He's been out.
That's not the point. Who else was hurt? Go through all the trade lists. I just want to see if I'm missing anybody.
Seems like a failed mind you of the week, and I should
Not
take over.
not really, because there's been several players that I mentioned that were sitting out. So we got them already. That's before the trade deadline stuff.
He's struggling to find his mind you.
No, not really. So I'm just going through to make sure I'm not missing any big names. Nurkic was sitting. He was benched.
He was active.
PJ Tucker.
He was active.
I'm saying they weren't playing.
They were active. Your mind you is about injuries.
No, it's not. You're not listening. So that's the basics of names that we got, right? So that's the one piece of evidence. Now the other thing is, how come players seem to know that they were getting traded too?
Well, it's obvious that players ask their owners if they're getting dealt or not, and then if they're
Wrong!
not like Maury and
Wrong!
they tell the truth.
There was predetermined trades. It is a rigged system. I am coming to you live with the facts. There was no surprise in the Lakers and Mavericks trade because it was predetermined. These trades were on the minds of the owners from the start of the year. They were agreed to, and they were held until the time came.
That's an awful segment. Oh my gosh.
This is what is happening with the NBA.
That is just a complete lie. I don't back this at all.
This is what the NBA has under their hood. This is predetermined trades that are occurring. So all these guys knew they were going to be going to these teams. That is how they are able to make to the games. Besides Mark Williams.
Are you serious right now?
I am being factual with my conspiracy theories.
Conspiracy is another word for a lie, because Jimmy Butler had no idea he was going to the Golden State Warriors.
Or did he? Show me factual evidence that he did not look happy.
He's happy to be playing basketball in a fun system.
Is it fun when you're a 500 team?
It's fun when you're winning.
Is it fun when they barely win anymore?
They're 1-0 in the Jimmy Butler era.
That won't last. No, but honestly, there has to be some kind of collusion going on. It cannot just be something that it was spur of the moment with these trades. And to cap it off here, we all knew Jericho Sims was being traded sometime.
No one cares about Jericho Sims. He's not going to even play.
To wrap it up, mind you of the week.
Which leads me into my next segment. I have this idea in the future of the NBA that we now televise the front offices every trade deadline. We see how the calls go down. We hear from them. We hear what they're thinking. We hear the assets. I think that would be peak television for avid NBA watchers and people that are in the media. I think that'd be great media, and it'd bring a lot of viewers to the NBA.
Teacher, no. That would be a horrible idea, because then the GM's secrets are spilled out. The owner's secrets are spilled out. That is horrible for inside front offices.
You could clip out...
They will never accept that. Never.
You could clip out the trade details and how they're talking about it.
No, not too much. That defeats your whole purpose, because we already kind of understand how it goes.
I'm just saying, if it was televised, like how the trade went down, and like they clipped out some parts, maybe I think that'd be
never
pretty good watch on like NBA channel. You know,
never happening.
Just an idea.
Terrible.
Let me know what you guys think. Who had the better mind you of the week?
That's not a mind you. Mind yous are conspiracies.
My mind you is a fact.
That's not a mind you of the week.
So the trades. We're gonna pull it up.
Yeah, while he's pulling that up, we had a beautiful trade season this year as lots of trades occurred and there were some big names dealt.
Let's start from where we left off.
Yeah, so that would be the Fox move. Go down.
Yeah, that's where we left off.
All right, so there was a small trade there with picks.
Yeah, no one cares.
And then, obviously, we went to the Mavericks making a trade with the Sixers.
Caleb Martin. I would like to talk about this one because there's a lot of details left out. Specifically, the Sixers did not explain that Martin has some injury problems, so they had to give up a second-round pick with Martin. So it's a 2-for-2 swap. They get more playoff experience type player, that probably better defensively guarding 1 through 4. Grimes is more of a perimeter defender, catch and shoot player. Martin's more of a slasher, driving player. So I guess that's what they wanted.
You're saying Quentin Grimes never drives?
He does. He's just better at catch and shoot.
So he's more complete.
He's a better shooter, if that's what you call complete. Martin's a better playmaker, I would say, and defender.
I don't say so.
All right, Daniel Tice.
I'm saying
cap dump, obviously.
Yeah.
Thunder get another pick.
Didn't he get waived?
I'm not sure.
I believe so. Someone else picked him up.
Kings get Valanciunas.
Hey, that was the Pelicans that got Tice.
We'll get there.
Maybe.
Valanciunas goes to the Kings for that rookie guy that was on the Spurs and 2 future seconds.
Not much to speak about, but the Kings got a backup center.
Hopefully those are Wizards seconds and not like end of draft seconds.
Doesn't matter.
It does. That's in a deep draft.
It says future, not this year. Read.
All right, this one, you see a little, I would say, contract dump maybe.
The Rockets also cut Springer.
I
don't really have to talk too much about this one.
A lot of Rockets fans were excited about their perimeter defense with Springer, Thompson, and Eason, and then he got waived seconds later.
Yeah, so, he's not a player.
The Celtics get back 1 second for Springer in 2 seconds.
Doesn't really matter.
All right, the biggest trade. No, I'm kidding. Reggie Jackson and first that's protected. I know details about this from researching. It is the least favorable of Oklahoma, Houston, and someone else, but we all know Thunder are going to be a top 2, 3, 4 team maybe. So that's like a late first for a lot of seconds, and Butler. They waive Reggie Jackson in the process.
Yeah, not too much to talk about there. Next, we got the Hawks and Rockets making a small trade again. So Rockets got Cody Zeller from the Hawks for some draft right player, and they also received a second-round pick in that.
Here's the alpha player.
Not too much.
Raptors did something.
The Raptors made multiple moves. So this is James Wiseman, another depth piece for a growing team with some cash, and they only traded a second-round pick in next year's draft.
KJ Martin.
This one's yours.
Terrible trade by the Sixers. They signed him to a balloon contract, and they ballooned and popped it. They give up assets just because they signed a terrible contract in hopes of getting a better player with a higher salary, but they only get cash.
So I kind of figured out why they did some of these moves, if you don't mind me interrupting. Their plan was to sign Justin Edwards to a full contract.
Well, yeah, but if they don't sign Martin to that terrible contract to begin with, they don't have to trade him.
Yeah, I'm just saying why they did the moves.
Yeah, well, yeah, that makes total sense, but you signed him to a terrible contract just to give up assets. That's a huge L.
Yeah, that was a mistake. They had a terrible free agency. Moving on.
Hornets get Nurkic and a first.
So this was an interesting one, considering because of the ramifications of a failed another deal, they now have Nurkic on the bench again. Um, they got a first round pick out of this. I don't know if it's probably protected. Not that that matters. I'm not sure where the Suns are going to be picking next year. Who knows what happens with them. Now, the Suns' part of this was actually pretty interesting. So they actually got some needed depth there. You know, nice wing player and a guard. Not too
Yeah,
bad.
but I'm
Not
gonna
too
have a
bad.
hot take here. I think the Hornets actually got the best player in the deal.
Did they?
That's just my opinion. But they
No.
they got
Cody Martin's pretty good.
he's not cutting in anything for me.
Nurkic is nothing.
This one Schroeder. The Pistons received Schroeder and Lindy Waters and a second round pick for KJ Martin, who now is a member of the Jazz, and a second. I don't see how the Jazz won this trade at all. They don't even get like better assets. Like I don't understand it for the Jazz, but
Mind you, they're tanking for Cooper Flag.
I mean, yeah, but you're not going to get more picks back than that, or like at least get
Picks?
more picks than you gave out, but you got the same amount of picks, 1-to-1.
They gave up trash. Dennis Schroeder is just going to leave them anyway.
Well, yeah, but moving on. The Heat received Davion Mitchell, and the Raptors get PJ Tucker in a second with cash.
Another minor trade. He obviously won this trade. Nothing really else to say.
I think this is PJ's last year on his contract. I guess they're just paying to take the. I don't even know. Like, I don't understand this trade for the.
The Raptors' standpoint.
Yeah, I don't. I guess they get a second in cash. Like, is that. I guess cash is really valuable now. I don't know.
Well, considering they have to pay Ingram, and they now have young core together, plus Ingram.
I actually totally forgot about this next trade. The
I did
Bucks.
not.
The Bucks got KPJ for Beauchamp.
Honestly, Kevin Porter Jr. is not going to play for the Bucks. Doesn't really make much sense for their standpoint. Beauchamp on the Clippers might have some minutes, but he's a rotational depth piece, not really high.
I think KPJ has a better chance of playing than Beauchamp
You
does.
might want to check that.
Are you serious?
You might want to check what happened in their games. Who played and who didn't.
We'll see about that one. Clippers get Bogey Bogdanovich for their coveted Terrence Mann, Bones Highland, who got waived, and I think he signed somewhere. I don't know. In 3 seconds. That seems like a pretty big haul for Bogey.
I think it's actually pretty well respected of a trade. They got what they expect out of him. He is a solid bench player. He's not the best, but he also provides a lot of scoring depth for the Clippers who needed that. And I would say Terrence Mann kind of let them down a little bit, hence why he was traded.
Yeah, a lot of people thought his numbers would tick up with no Paul George and Kawhi was out for half the year.
Didn't happen.
All right, here we go.
Here's a fun one. So this is a cool four-way trade, guys. Obviously, you see the teams involved are very interesting. We see the major points, obviously, is that the Bucks got Kuzma. That is the huge point. I think he fits better than Middleton does at this point in their careers. It gives the Bucks a much-needed, speedy wing player. Was the length, the height. He also has the scoring ability. Now, he does have some slight injury concerns the last few years, but overall, you do trust him over a Chris Middleton to stay healthy. As far as the Sims part of that move, he's a depth player. He's not really going to get much minutes there. The Knicks needed to get rid of him due to their influx of bigs as Mitchell Robinson returns. So Sims didn't really have a future on the Knicks. We knew that. You ditch him. They got some picks. Now the Wizards part. This guy, a former guest of ours, just kidding, guys. Chris Middleton leaves the team that he made his career with.
If you're watching this, Chris, and you want to be a guest, feel free.
Yeah, we're not saying you're not a guest, but you weren't yet. So Chris Middleton leaves the team where he made his name and living for a terrible Wizards team. Wizards, who are in last place. I'm sure he is not pleased with that kind of setup, but at this point of his career, he should be happy he's still on a roster.
Are you serious right now? Chris Middleton's still a player. They need to bench him for the year, let him get surgery if he needs it.
No, he had his surgeries.
Let him rest up, let him heal completely.
He did that.
Bring in Flag, have him play alongside Flag and Poole.
We don't know who's going to win the lottery. All right, not too much.
All right,
your microphone. They also got A.J. Johnson, a prospect. Not really going to do too much, but again, this is a tanking team. They have a pick swap. Now we go to my Knicks. All right, so
we're just going to stumble upon the pick swap.
It's not that big of a deal. It's 2028. Don't get excited over 3 years down the line. All right, so DeLon Wright. Obviously a depth piece for us at a position we didn't necessarily need depth unless injuries occur. So as far as the Sims for Wright part, it's kind of like a 1-to-1 and doesn't really improve much, but it just gives us a different piece. He's more of a veteran player for playoffs. Maybe he's a positive. This is his 9th team in 10 seasons. Interesting factor there. They got the draft rights to this Hugo guy. Don't really care. Some cash. Don't really care. The Spurs did receive Patrick Baldwin Jr., but cut him promptly and cash. So that was that trade. And I'll let you do the talking because my voice hurts now.
All right. So does this trade even matter? Can I just skip over this? Because we just talked about it.
So you guys see that. Obviously, it is rescinded.
So yeah, everyone's back to their normal team. Cavs trade.
This is a big one
for Hunter.
This could sway the East, in my opinion.
I don't really buy into Hunter as much as I guess the Cavs do. But
are you gonna make me talk about this?
The Hawks receive LeVert, Niang, 3 seconds, and 2 swaps. That is a ton of assets for a Hunter who can score. He can definitely score, but does he really?
That's not why they got him. Give me that. All right. Clearly, this guy has no knowledge of the game. So what they did was get an inconsistent LeVert, a slow Niang, and turned it into a speedier, more defensively minded wing to cover the likes of Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Their idea is to win the finals, not to just be a member of the playoffs. He can't guard
either of those players.
He can guard them.
He cannot.
He is a lot better than those other two. Let's put it that way. He is a lot better than those other two at defense.
He also gets hurt quite often.
So does LeVert. And do you really think Niang is a positive on the defensive side of the ball?
No.
Think otherwise. They didn't get him for his offense. They got him for his defense.
Those picks matter.
The Cavs are in no business to think about picks. They are about winning it all with their core. Get with the times, Sixer fans. All right, you got this one.
Another huge trade.
Obviously, this is a giant 4-team trade again.
Let's start at the bottom. All right, so Raptors.
They already traded that. Wait.
The Raptors get PJ Tucker. I'm confused. I guess this was part of the other trade.
Yeah, so obviously...
We talked about the bottom part.
Yeah, so just go to the top.
The Jazz ended up getting Josh Richardson. We already talked about Martin. They get
other things that we already talked about.
The Heat receive Andrew Wiggins, Kyle Anderson.
We talked about these other two.
Yep. Okay, so Wiggins, you get a player that can score. Not very
Two-way
consistently, but he can score. Um, we'll see if he could get his rhythm back on the offensive end and be more consistent of a scorer. Kyle Anderson,
He fits the Heat's mantra, I think. Wiggins.
I mean, yeah, but Kyle Anderson's more of a playmaking forward. I guess he'll play off the bench for them, I would say.
I'd say Hawkins is higher up on their list.
Yeah, I don't really seeing him playing too much. But the main piece of this is obviously Butler to the Warriors, and they also get 2 seconds in cash. A clear win for the Warriors. Yeah, it's a clear win. They're 1-0 in the Butler era, and the vibes are immaculate.
They are not. They are a team that is in 10th place.
Yep, but I am predicting they will get to the 8th seed at least.
Not so fast. I don't know. I'm not a big believer in Jimmy Butler. I don't know about that team's availability and health with Draymond Green and Steph Curry being older as well.
Are they the best old core?
They have to be now.
They are the best old core in the NBA.
Obviously, the Lakers are no longer an old core. That was kind of a stretch to begin with because Davis is 2 years too young. Well, about to be a year too young, but say less.
Raptors make another move. They get a so-called star, Brandon Ingram.
He is a star when he plays.
When I think of star, I think of someone who makes the All-Star team, but I don't think
he has in the past.
I don't think he's gonna get there anymore. But they give up some contract. I guess you could say like hefty contracts. Bruce Brown, Olynyk, only 1 first and 1 second.
Doesn't even say the years.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
I don't understand that. Brandon Ingram has missed the whole year pretty much. Actually, maybe he has missed the whole year.
Yeah, because he didn't want to be in New Orleans. But I honestly think this is an easy win for the Raptors, even if they don't necessarily do great this year. If they're able to lock him in, and overall, they only gave up pieces that are expendable anyway.
As much as I think the Raptors won this, their fit makes 0 sense with Brandon Ingram. Like,
why?
I don't see this working at all. Yeah, there's too many mid-range and like attacking the basket players. You need some spacing. You need to draft someone who's lights out from 3. You need a point guard in the future if Quickly is not your guy. And moving on, it's another big, I guess you could call a big trade. There's a lot of players involved. The Wizards get Marcus Smart, Kobe Jones, Alex Len, and a first from the Grizzlies this year, which is probably like a later first type thing.
Was Marcus Smart waived already?
No, I don't think he's waived yet.
I think he's on the buyout market.
There's talks about it, but I haven't seen anything yet. Maybe after this is released, he will be, but we'll see.
I thought he was.
Okay, well, we'll let you guys know in the future.
I'm pretty sure.
Grizzlies
Grizzlies
receive Marvin Bagley, who I think is still hurt. Johnny Davis, who is a complete bust and always will be.
Wow.
2 seconds. And the Kings get Jake LaRavia. I'm a big fan of his. Great depth player off the bench. I'm surprised the Grizzlies even traded him, honestly. This trade makes 0 sense for the Grizzlies unless they really wanted seconds. Kings, I would say, probably won this trade over the other 2 teams.
I'm not so sure about that.
Depending what the Wizards do with that pick, but we all know they fail at drafting.
That's probably protected to begin with, but if the Grizzlies are making the playoffs, obviously that's going to be a late first.
Yes, they are a top 3 seed right now. They're going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, so late first. I mean, it's not terrible. They probably won the trade just off that, though, in this draft.
We'll see what it says for Marcus Smart.
Oh, I guess not. Okay, so I think the Wizards win it then. You get a guy like Marcus Smart and Delay first, plus a couple depth pieces. Get some positive influence in their locker room.
Marcus Smart has not been healthy for a majority of this year.
Positive influence on their youth in the locker room.
You get players that win, that want to play and play games and don't sit out. You want to get someone like Jake LaRavia.
All right, yeah, but he doesn't have the experience. You don't understand what I'm saying. They want to bring the youth up the right way, so they got a guy who has had success in the league and has been a great defender and a positive outset.
Until he doesn't want to be there anymore.
All right. Is there any other trades we have to show, or is that the last one?
Ben Simmons gets
That's
bought
not a
out.
trade.
He goes to the Clippers.
Ben Simmons is headed to the Clippers. There's been some other guys that have signed minor things. Honestly, some winners of this trade deadline, we have to obviously say the Lakers. Probably have to say the Spurs. The two trades.
You got to say the Spurs first, then the Lakers.
Doesn't matter. I'm just saying they won trade. Besides that, who else can you really say won a trade?
I mean, I said the Kings won a lot of their trades, so I'm going to have to say the Kings are up there.
Bucks had a great move.
The Cavs
had a decent trade. But I don't really want to say they won the trade deadline. Saying like the top teams that had a great trade deadline.
I'm going to have to go Spurs.
Raptors had a good deadline.
I'm going to have to go in order. This is my order. Spurs, Lakers, Raptors, Kings. Who am I forgetting? Raptors, Kings, Cavaliers. That's my top 5.
All right. Fair enough. I agree. I don't really have much else to add to that because the trade deadline is pretty straightforward in my opinion too. A lot of other like minor trades, but I mean that pretty much wraps up the part 2 of our trade deadline specials. I hope you all enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed the mind you of the weeks that came out of these last 2 weeks. I am back on top on my game. Let's not talk about yesterday.
Speaking of yesterday, I got back on the court about a week ago and I started doing some late shooting. And yesterday, as of this recording on Sunday, I decided to take my talents to a one-on-one game. Unfortunately, this guy is still he can't beat me. Like, I don't know how else to say it. He's saying he doesn't try, but obviously you don't play the game to lose.
All right, so I felt bad for the injured player. So the first game I was playing very light defense, and my shot was way off to begin. So I played horribly. No excuse on that part.
You're giving excuses.
I'm not saying that I'm excusing the loss. I am saying the first game I actually did not go hard. Obviously, I still would have lost because I missed almost every shot that I usually make. Next game, it was a lot closer. I missed shots in the beginning and caught fire at the end. Still took the L because at times my offense needs to be full force or I will lose.
In other words, he cannot win unless he's making shots, and I win games based off effort and defense, even with an injured leg.
The game is about a bucket.
Or an injured ankle, I should say.
The game is about a bucket.
So why can't you score? Why can't you win? You're a better shooter, right? Yeah, is it really about a bucket?
All right. So, guys, it was a month since I played a game. Relax.
All right, guys. So we want to get this pod out there more so we could do more content and be able to maybe record some live gameplay or live
footage
of just rec type games, pick up.
Not just that.
Not
other
even,
types of content.
not even
like the
just,
cooking show, and
Yeah, not even just basketball, like just anything in general. We want to have the equipment to do that, so the only way we could do that is by getting the pod up there.
subscribe.
Subscribe, comment, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend.
We need 50 subscribers, I believe, to go and monetize streams. So we are 19 short currently. Find 19 of your best friends so we could easily hit that number.
Or just make 19 accounts.
Not too much. Don't tell them to cheat the system. But we don't encourage that, but do it anyway if you can. And let's send us off properly. Before the Super Bowl, we are minutes before the live event between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. Do not tell us who you're rooting for because I do not care.
Is that a Joe Mazzulla moment?
Yeah. No, not really. I don't like either of these teams. I'm a Giants fan. I'm also a Josh Allen fan.
Like,
Share,
comment
subscribe.
to the pod.
Where else? Just kidding. And we're headed to the end of the pod. Like, share, subscribe, like, share, subscribe.